Hi, I'm Master Deputy Addie Perez with the Richland County Sheriff's Department Community Action Team. As a mother, I know it's important to take care of my health for those I care about. Part of doing that is knowing my risk for developing type 2 diabetes. So if I was you, I'll take the opportunity to visit inittogethersc.org and take an online test to find out if you have prediabetes. Again, the website is inittogethersc.org. This message is brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
Some events are great when experienced once, but sometimes you've got to do it again. Avery Entertainment presents the return of the You Name It Tour. Pastor Shirley Caesar headlines this dynamic encore. Saturday, November 12th at the Sumter County Civic Center. Also featuring the Canton Spirituals.
We didn't have much.
Those Mississippi boys are coming.
But the Lord been good to me.
Doc McKenzie and the Highlights.
I wanna live so God can use me anywhere.
The Gospel Legend and Roy and the Revelation. The return of the You Name It Tour. Saturday, November 12th at the Sumter County Civic Center. Doors open at 2. Program begins 3:45. Platinum, VIP, and advanced tickets available. Get them at Eventbrite, Imports Limited in Sumter, Al's Musica, and Undisputed Barbershop. For info, call 803-846-9872.
Well, hello there, everybody. How you doing? This is Loretta Coleman, and we welcome you to Loretta Coleman Live. We do have an awesome program on tonight. We're going to be interviewing a legend, a true legend on tonight. He is, if I'm not mistaken, he's the only living original Mighty Clouds of Joy member, and I wanted to interview him tonight. And I see you in the back room, Johnny, but try to get that camera at a standstill because we are on 8 platforms and we want it to be as professional as possible. So try to get it at a standstill. But I am excited about interviewing him. And you may say, well, Loretta, why him? I've known him since I started promoting. I think I had my first major concert in 1999 at Benedict College. And he's never changed. His personality has always been the same. Every time I ran into him, whether I was booking him or not, his personality remains the same. And rarely do you find people when they're in position, when they have status, that remain the same person that they were before they started singing professional. So I sit and I watch people. I say, you know what? I'm going to interview him. I'm going to let people know who he is. And right before I introduce him, we're going to speak to a couple of people, and then we're going to bring him on, the one and only. We call him Jay Valentine, but his name is Johnny Valentine. But let's say hello to you, Adrian Clark. Thank you so very much for joining us. Dina Brown, thank you for joining us. June Benton, thank you for joining us. Martha Banks, thank you for joining us. Miss Mabel Williams, thank you for joining us. Fayetteville, North Carolina. Great Falls, South Carolina. Great Falls, South Carolina. Angela Akins, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. And Bertha Anderson, and we'll be speaking to more people as we go on. And did I lose him? He'll be back in a minute. We want to say hello to Vanessa Bell Jones from Tyler, Texas. And y'all, it is spinning. There we go, right there. There he go. This is the one and only Johnny Valentine, or Johnny J. Valentine. But how you doing, man? And thank you for joining us. I can't hear you. Your reception. Can't hear you. The reception is bad. You may have to move locations because we can't hear you. Okay, he'll be back in a minute. Miss Doris Brown, how you doing? Okay, Martha was speaking. While we're waiting, let me encourage you. Well, he'll be back in a few minutes. Election day is November the 8th. Exercise your vote, people. I put on my page today, we criticize about the gas prices. We criticize about the food prices, this, that. Our vote does matter, and we're asking you to vote November the 8th. We want you to tell cousins, nieces, nephew, uncles, aunts, mama, daddies, children, anybody you can tell. Don't let people tell you that the vote doesn't matter, because it does. And you see, I'm representing Congressman James E. Clyburn, the majority whip. Let's reelect him November the 8th. There we go. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Fine. We can hear you really, really good right now. And thank you for accepting this invitation. We're glad that you agreed to come on with me and to talk about your journey with the mighty clouds of joy. Hey, Philadelphia is in the house. Texas is in the house. Hello, everybody. Hello, Columbia, South Carolina, Helen Osborne. And I'm telling you, but I want you to start out. This is your show tonight. This is in honor of you and your longevity with the mighty clouds of joy. So what we want you to do is, for those people who may not be familiar, who may not remember that guy on them drums, but now is on the forefront singing, bring us up to date with the mighty clouds of joy. How old were you when you started? And some of your journeys, some of your ups, some of your downs. Tell us about it. Tonight is your night, so I don't have to say anything. If you see me do this, that means I have a question for you.
Okay.
If you see me do that, I'm just speaking to somebody that's speaking back. Okay? But let's go.
First of all, I'd like to say, giving honor to God who is the head of my life, and that has sustained me all these years to be able to travel up and down the road.
Turn your volume up. Turn your volume up.
Okay, what about now?
Perfect.
Okay. I just thank God for sustaining me for all these years to be able to travel across the country, across the world, Tokyo, Japan, all over the continent. I just thank God. I thank God every day, and that I still have my health and strength, that we're still able to sing, able to bring the message across the world. My story is not real long. It's just been a lot of years. I started when I was 15 years old with the Mighty Clouds of Joy. When I grew up, my mom used to take me to the Apollo Theater when I was 7 to 8 years old. So I was around Joe and Richard, and Johnny Martin, Elmo, Junior Franklin, all of them when I was 6 or 7 years old. And as older I got, I started playing music, and I was working for Savoy Records, doing a lot of recordings for Savoy Records. And I went to a concert in Philadelphia. This was like 78, 79, something like that. Can't remember the exact year. And at that time, I was on the show. I was playing with Dorothy Norwood. And
I didn't know that. I didn't know you used to play for Dorothy Norwood.
Yeah, Dorothy Norwood. I played with James Cleveland. I played with a lot of groups before I got with the Clouds, you know. But we did a show in Philadelphia. Dorothy was on one side of town, and the Mighty Clouds was on the other side of town. I said, well, let me go over here and holler at the guys, you know. Went over there to holler at Joe and them. They hadn't seen me in 4 or 5 years since I was real little, you know. And they said, man, we know we're looking for a drummer. We see your name on back of Savoy Records, and you're traveling with Dorothy and doing this and doing that. We need a drummer. I said, well, okay then. And at that time, I was still in high school. And, I just had got in high school, the 9th grade, I think. And so I went back over there, and I went and called my mom, told my mom that the guys, you know, I saw the guys tonight, and they remember when I was a little boy. I used to sit on Johnny Martin's lap when I was a little boy.
Okay.
At the Apollo Theater. And so my mom said, well, I don't know, you're still in school. And, you know, back then, you know, all I did was to play music. That's all I wanted to do was play music. And so we got on the phone. He talked to my mom, and they promised they was going to take good care of me if I did come. They knew I was young and knew I hadn't finished school, hadn't graduated yet. But my mom said, well, you know what? I'm gonna leave it in God's hand. If this is what you want to do, I'm going to let you go do it. And she let me go, you know, and I just thank God that Joe and Richard, Elmo, and me took good care of me. They know that nothing happened to me. They treated me like a son. And back then, it wasn't like it is now. Back then, man, we were singing every day of the week almost. You know, then the first trip I took overseas was to South Africa. That was the first trip with South Africa. 16 years old, going to South Africa, and we stayed over there a month and a half. Came back, went to Japan. I didn't hardly even play in the States when I first got with the group, but that's where they stayed at. That's where they were known at. That's where people loved them at, and that's where they made money at. You know, and so I did that, and they just honored me and took me in and made sure I didn't want for nothing. I never wanted for nothing. And that's been the way they treated me ever since I've been with them. Joe Lagon and Richard and them, you know, and they took me from place to place. I played big auditoriums that I never thought I would play. The Meadowlands in New York, and back to the Apollo Theater, Soul Train, Arsenio Hall, all the shows back then they were doing. You know, it was just an honor and a blessing that God allowed me to be able to accomplish so much in my life, and I don't take it for granted. I really don't.
So I assume that since you was with him since you was 15, when he passed away, it was almost like a father to you.
It struck me hard. I know. I mean, I watched him sing strong, being healthy, to going down to can't hardly get a note out. You know, and that was one of the hardest things I had to go through. Well, actually, Johnny Martin, that was the first one that passed. That was hard to, you know, when you're growing up around somebody, it's like your mother or your father. You know, watch him go down to nothing. We was over in Tokyo, Japan for 3 weeks, and Johnny Martin wasn't feeling good. So we got back to LA. We flew back to LA, and man, we got off the plane. I helped him carry his bag. He said, "Well, man, we was on the bus." He said, "Y'all get on the bus. Y'all go on to Dallas. We're gonna start our anniversary, which we used to have every year." We started on that on a journey from LA to Dallas, and by the time I told him I see you in Dallas, he said, "Well, if I make it, I might just go into the hospital and have this heart procedure." So before he could even get home, when he got home, went to take him a bath, he just fell out in the bathroom and passed away. And by the time we got to Dallas, we had a message on our phone saying Johnny Martin had passed. It was really sad, you know. It was just so unexpected, just came out of nowhere, you know. But we lived through it and got kind of used to him not being there. But his spirit was always there. Johnny Martin's spirit was always there, and still there right now.
Well, let me ask you this, if you don't mind. Being on the road with the legendary Joe Lagon, and you are still humble, you are still approachable, you're still somebody that people respect and talk to. Was there ever a time that you got the big head? Never
have. My grandma always told me, "Don't get no bigger than God." And I always remember that, and I take that with me to today. I've never had that we all this or all that. Never had that. I've always loved people. I've always loved being around people, meeting people. And it never struck me as that, because it's always been a blessing for me. You know, it's always been a blessing that I'd have this opportunity. I'm with the biggest group in the world, you know, so I'm not going to mess that up thinking I'm all that, you know. So, you know, God has kept my mind straight and kept me to where I've never thought that way, Ms. Loretta. Never have I ever thought that way. You know,
now I'm gonna make you. I got to make you laugh.
All right.
The first time I booked the Mighty Clouds was In 1999 at Benedict College, it was the Mighty Clouds, Lee Williams, the Williams Brothers, Daryl Mike Fadden, Slim and Supreme Angels, Jackson Southerners, Gospel Legends, and the Mickens. And I'm missing somebody. Shut the place down. I mean, shut it down. When I was going around to the groups and I ran into you, and I said, who is that guy right there? I'm gonna make you laugh. I said, that's a fine man right there.
Oh Lord.
That's what I said. And then somebody told me who you was. But what impressed me about that is that you get people, okay, not only did you sing with the legend Joe Lagan and Mighty Clouds of Joy, but you were young and good looking. You had all the reason to be cocky.
It just never crossed my mind. I never thought I never thought I was bigger than God. And I always kept God first, and I always do keep God first. Because I know where my help come from. I know where my help come from. I know what keeps me going. You know, and I just, you know, I've always gotten along with all the other groups. Like me and Harvey Watkins is just like two brothers, you know. And
well, y'all look like brothers.
Well, I didn't stay at his house enough and ate much of his food when his mama used to cook. You know, he was the first one I ever ate some rabbit, and I didn't know what I was eating. He wouldn't tell me what I was eating. So after I started eating, I said, "Man, I would never eat no rabbit." He never told me. We finished eating. I said, "Now what was that?" He said, "Now that was rabbit." I said, "What?" I said, "Well, give me some more." But yeah. So never say what you won't do, you know. But no, I've never thought I was bigger than anybody. I just, like I say, I just love people, love being around people, love church, and that's where I was raised. That's where I was raised.
I'm gonna ask you one more question. Do you remember Mother's Day 2016 at this church in Nashville, Tennessee, when Pastor Sean Jones was there in concert?
Yes, ma'am, I sure do. I remember that.
And I was there and I saw you and I'm like, hey. And we were laughing at you because you're like, hey, because you hadn't seen me in a long time.
I hadn't seen you in years. That's right. I hadn't seen you in years.
But you spoke though. You spoke.
Oh yeah.
But we was over there, me and my friends, we was over there laughing because we said he speak, but he don't know who we are. So when Sean got up and he introduced us, then you said, hey.
Yeah, I know who you were.
That's the last time I've seen you. Yeah,
I hadn't seen you, what, 15 years or so before that?
Yeah.
Because we had been to Columbia. We haven't been in the area, you know. And then Joe had, you know, when Joe had started, you know, getting sick, we started going without him. You know, and Ron started taking over, which he's doing a good job right now. You know, actually, I'm on my way. I'm leaving Dallas, Texas now. We had a sellout show yesterday in Dallas, Texas.
Very good, very good.
Spencer Taylor, Guys Posse, a bunch of groups from all over. It was a beautiful concert last night. So that's where I'm headed now, back from.
If you had to bring something back from the days of Joe Lagan to tell these young groups of the day, what would it be?
First of all, I would say keep God first, and don't forget the bridge that brought you over. That's one thing Joe Lagan taught me, that when he was coming up, he always wanted to sing, but he would never get too big where he wouldn't speak to people, show love to people, appreciate people. You know, that's why one thing made Joe Lagan so special. You could never walk up to him; he would never not speak to you.
Never.
You know, and he always say, just stay prayed up. Just stay prayed up, because this road is dangerous. Anything can happen. You know, you just have to stay prayed up. And another thing is, you have to have your business correct. You know, you just can't come out, run up and down the road singing. You need management. You need somebody that knows this business. You know, you can't do everything. You can't sing and do it. You have to have somebody. We had Zach Glitton for years. That's who put us in the places that we were. You know, all these TV shows, Merv Griffin, all these TV shows, you know, everything was because of Zach Glitton. We thank God. He's passed away too, but we thank God that we're still living off of things that he did. you know.
Let's.
But mhm.
No, I'm just reading this. Go ahead.
Okay. And guys, Michael Cook, you know, Richard Wallace, all these guys, man. When we sing on stage, I still feel their spirit there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still feel their spirit there. It's just like something that's just continuous going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, me and Ron sit down and talk, and we said, well, you know, we called Joe Lagon Red. We used to always call him Red. Because we always thought one day he was going to preach, you know. And I used to say, Red, when you going to start preaching, man? He said, I ain't heard that call yet. He said, but until then, I'm going to keep singing. And that's just what he did. Just kept singing to the day he died, you know. And like I said, it's been a beautiful run. It's been a beautiful run. I just thank God. I thank God so much, you know, because he didn't have to do what he did for me, you know. And right now, I could go anywhere in the world. I've never had a falling out with anybody. Never talked about anybody, and never heard nobody talk about me. You know, I've never been the talkative kind. I've always been really quiet because I've learned watch and learn. You know, never think you know everything. Just watch and learn. You know, so it's taught me a lot. And back to other groups, new groups that's coming up. Just have your business together. And make sure you have your home church where you can learn the word, because the word can take you further than the singing can take you. You know, you live and eat and breathe the word. You see your blessings come. You know. So
tonight we're speaking with the legendary Johnny Valentine with the legendary group The Mighty Clouds of Joy. Started when he was 15 years old. We're going to give you, the audience, an opportunity to ask a question to him. Favorite songs, anything decent and in order. Please do not write a long book, because we don't want to give as many people opportunities as they can to you know, to ask him a question. But while waiting on their question to come up, out of all the songs that he has, what is your favorite?
I've been in the storm too long. I've been in the storm too long. I was surprised I didn't see you the other week. We was in Orangeburg last Friday.
Last Friday?
Last Friday night. We was in Orangeburg for Mr. Robinson. Yeah. He has a group down there. I forgot the name of the group. But yeah, we was in Orangeburg last Friday. Had a good turnout at 5:30 in the afternoon.
Well, I saw it that night when it was actually going on, but I didn't see any flyers on it. I didn't see it on Facebook.
Oh, well, I tell you what, he turned out a good crowd. The place was small, but it was almost full. So
well, that's
he
good.
did a good job in that area, but it was beautiful. It was a good feeling to be back down in the country singing. You know, that's one thing I miss, singing down in the country, man, to the country people. You know, but they appreciate it. They appreciate that gospel so much, especially quartet. You know, like
Rashad Smith said, "What does it take to be a professional?"
First of all, it's how you carry yourself, and expect. Now you got to be talented. You got to have talent, but you have to know how to carry yourself. You have to look decent. Just look professional. Just act professional. You know, when you talk to people, just talk professional. I mean, you could just be yourself. You don't have to try to be Mr. Big and all that. Just be yourself, and just be kind to people. You know, and just be professional about what you do. Be professional about the places that you go, because you know we don't want to be seen in a whole lot of places, and you got to go to church and sing it the next day. That's one thing Johnny Martin didn't play. He said, if you a cloud at home, at church, in the store, you still a mighty cloud of joy. So just be careful what you do around people, and just keep yourself professional.
That's very good, because see, in your days they didn't have these. But now you can be doing something and somebody gonna snap
Oh
your
man, I'm trying to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, you have to be careful what you do on Facebook. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen it and heard so many people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see somebody post something, you say, "Oh, I didn't know he was even like that." You know, but just be careful what you do. I mean, because you never know who see you. You never know who see you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you have to be careful about that. Yes, ma'am.
Martha Banks said, "What made you stop playing the drums?"
Well, I got older, and Joe Lagan wanted me to start standing up singing with the group. So we always keep, you know, we found a couple of drummers that were pretty good and that could play my style. And I've been standing up singing ever since, you know, and it's been good. It's been good.
How did you feel when you came from behind the drums? Were you nervous?
Well, I've been on stage for so many years that no, I wasn't nervous. It didn't even bother me. You know, it's just like doing something else in the group, something new, but something that I knew how to do. You know, so it's just like being on stage, like always. You know, something I love doing up until today. You know, yes, sir. It wasn't no challenge or nothing.
What's his name? You just called his name. The lead singer.
Right.
The lead
Ron
singer.
Staples.
Yeah.
Ron Staples. Yes, ma'am.
That he's the lead singer, but who's the manager of the group?
Well, actually, we all try to run it together. We do everything together. It's no big eyes and little U's. You know, we're the oldest members, so naturally everything goes through us. You know, and Ricky DeRay does our booking. You know, and so we work together. You know, we work together. Yes, ma'am.
What other groups you enjoy sharing the stage with?
Oh, I love the Canton Spirituals, Doc McKenzie. I used to love the Jews, Swanee Quintet, all them old groups. I love them. I love them to death. And the new groups that's today, we will work with the legends. Love the legends, Little Roy. Just you know, all the groups that we've worked with, we love them. It's no special thing, but we love all the groups. We accept all the new groups and encourage them. We try to encourage them. I talk to Roy here and there. I talk to legends every time I see them. You know, to encourage them to don't get discouraged, especially about the money, because the money is not the same as it used to be. You know, you used to make a living out here year round. It's not like that now. You got to have something to fall back on, which my mama told me when I first got in the group. She said, always have something to fall back on. I never forgot that, and I do that until today.
The days of Blockbuster in Florence, South Carolina. Do you think we'll ever get that camaraderie again? Do you think we'll ever? We will be out there at the Civic Center 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Nobody wanted to go home, but we had a good time.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. That Richard Wiles used to be mad. We used to have to get on that floor at 1 and 1:30 in the morning. Oh, he turned purple. He did not like that. But it was what it was. You know, you got 13, 14, and 15 groups, and they all singing. So 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, you have to be on your game. You know, like we used to do them kind of concerts in New York City with Big Dan. You remember Big Dan? We never got on the floor before 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Wow.
Never.
Wow.
Never. So you coming out to church at 3:30 in the morning on your way to the hotel and got to get up Sunday morning to go 200 or 300 miles for Sunday. So yeah, we've that experience there is something. And by Monday morning.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. Now those were the days. We ain't had to worry about no guns. If there were guns there, we didn't know that they were there. But now, if you have a crowd like we had at Blockbuster, you don't know when you just don't know.
No. If a guy in the group had a gun, you never knew it because they left it on the van or left it on the bus. Now, if you get them wrong, now if something happened now, they will. I can name a few that took some on stage with them. I'm not gonna call no name, but yeah, but now you just have to be careful. I mean, you got to stay in God's grace. You know, that's what's going to take you through these days. And you know, especially since the COVID, and before the COVID, the quartet sang with the shows were not really like they used to be before the COVID. So now that the COVID done hit and everything, it's bad now. It's worse now. You know, so you have to just pray for a good show and pray that the people want to come out and see you. You know, and just keep rolling on, as they say. You know.
Miss Virginia Harris, Sky G Radio in Lancaster, South Carolina, been in radio for over 40 years. She said yes, 2 and 3 in the morning, and then we'll go out and eat. And
oh yeah, we got to, especially in New York. Oh yeah, we got to go to Junior's and eat. Oh yeah, we got to get that cheesecake. 3, 4 in the morning. But you done ate earlier because they're gonna be frying some chicken at the church, so you done kind of sampled that. But you know, after you eat after the show, you are going to eat a real meal. You got to do that. It was just so common for everybody. Just like the later days, where do we go when we finish singing? To the Waffle House.
Waffle House.
You know, that's just ordinary. You know, up until today. Yes, ma'am. She's right about that. You know,
it's right now. It's bringing back so many memories. Because those were the good days. Those were good days. And then I remember I was not promoting them, but I remember I worked behind the scene a lot with a lot of groups. And I remember this particular promoter, and y'all excuse me, my sinus is very bad today, very bad. This particular promoter didn't have all the money. I remember all of the managers or lead singers came in their office, and I would just sit back and just look at. I said, "I'm gonna see how this gonna pan out." They said, "No, we're gonna be fair to each other." That's how they held it. This is what the promoter got. So this is how we're gonna be fair to each other. And it was nothing. They said, "This is what we're gonna produce," and they said, okay. That's how they work together.
That's right. And that's one thing Joe Lagan didn't. There's been a lot of times that Richard, he didn't want to sing, wanted to leave. Joe Lagan said, "No, we already here now. We got fans that want to hear us sing. We don't sing but 2 or 3 songs. We're not going to walk away from no program. We've never walked away from a program. Never.
Well, I thought that
bad as we wanted to, but we never walked away. Joe Lagan was always going to sing because he loved his people, loved his fans, never let his fans down. You know, and you know, it is about money too, because you have to survive. You know, you have to get to the program. You have to get back home. You have to pay some bills. You know, but then you look at it another way. You're singing for God. I mean, you know, if you're a little short, so what? He'll make it up for you. You know, but like I say, Joe Lagan never walked away from a program. Never walked away from it. So we never really had that problem. Yes, ma'am.
If a group, I'm just gonna give a bogus figure because I don't want nobody to think I'm talking about them. If a group charged $15,000, I'm just gonna say 15,000, and we know that today that's not a norm for quartet, not right now. And they got all of it but $1,000, and they went out and they told people we didn't get paid. Is there a difference between we didn't get paid and we didn't get all our money?
It's a big difference. It's a big difference. Actually, when it's a situation like that, it shouldn't even be no situation like that. You know, you short a couple dollars. I mean, come on now. These days, especially these day and time, if you can get over half your money, count it a blessing. Because you know these promoters are not putting up their money like they used to. Lose no money. You know, there was a time when it was a promoter. I think it was down in, I can't think of what the promoter was, but I'm not gonna say the name of the group that he had down there. And So the lead said, well, man, where's all my money? He said, but this is what I got. Then he took him to the door of the program and said, see how many people in there? This is what you draw. But this is the money you're going to get. Well, I thought that was so funny. But I'm not going to call no name. But the promoter told him, look at the people in there. See how many people in there? That's what you drew. So that's the money you're going to get. But like I say, if you get over 50% of your money, just count it as a blessing, because especially these old, you got new promoters now. You have new promoters now, and if you deal with a promoter that don't have no sponsor, just dealing with him, closer you get to your money, just count it as a blessing. Count it as a blessing, because it's just not like it used to be. Unless like the other week we did the Bilo Center in Greenville, South Carolina, with Tamala Man and Ty Tribbett and all that. Well, that's sponsored, so we know we got what we're supposed to get, and God blessed us. We did a good concert, and we just keep it moving. Just hope for the best on the next one,
You're saying a lot of positive stuff now, but I was on this particular topic.
Okay, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
I think you're in a bad area. Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
Can the audience hear me? Can you hear me now?
Hold on a minute. One second.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Can you hear me now? You can hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you though.
See,
I can't hear you.
Let's see. They can hear me. They can hear you too. That's what they just said. I don't know why. Somebody must have
don't hear you.
Go out and come back in.
Hold on, let me try something here. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, wow. This was so good. I think somebody called him and knocked him off.
Okay, I can't hear you, Loretta. Sister Loretta, I can't hear you.
Go out. I don't know how. Somebody inbox him and tell him to go out and come back in.
You go out and come back in?
Yes. That's good. He'll be back. Somebody calls him. That's what it'll do. It'll knock you out. Elaine Hopkins said, I love the late, great Bishop Ranch Allen. He didn't perform. He praised. I didn't even think of him getting paid until I heard both talking about getting paid. He had stage professionalism. Oh, God. What is going on here? Man, this is awful. This is the devil. This is the devil. Y'all just hold on a minute. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I can hear you.
Okay.
If that happens again, just go out and come back in.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay. Now I was saying I was on a platform. Snell Productions, that's another promoter. She's online there from here in Columbia, South Carolina. But I was on this platform and I was listening because I'm nosy. They be talking, I be listening. They said that if you don't have money, you shouldn't depend on ticket sales.
That's right.
That's true. That is absolutely true. But everybody don't have sponsors.
Exactly.
I remember interviewing Melvin and Doug.
Mm-hmm.
They said, if the promoter don't have all your money, never treat that promoter bad, never spread that promoter's name, because somebody may go to them next week and say, well, how was the Mighty Clouds of Joy? Oh, they
Right.
sound good, but they fuss and cuss about their money. That's going to throw
Exactly.
you off.
Exactly.
They said, so if you don't get your money, you may fuss in between self, like with your group members,
Right.
but don't
Exactly.
take it no farther than that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're
So do
right.
you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree with that. I mean, because that follows you. Word spreads. Word spreads around. You know, the way, like that's part of being a professional, as I say. You know, word get around. That's why you got to be careful how you talk to promoters, how you talk to your people that come to see you, that spend money to come see you, especially. You know, but yeah, they're right about that. They are so right about that. And I've known so many groups that we've met promoters that say, "Oh, this such and such was here last week, and I was a couple of dollars short, and they ran me in the ground. They ran me in the ground, you know." But yeah, you can't do that. You have to treat them good, because see, a promoter, they don't know the things the promoter has to go through to even have a program, especially these days. You know, and it's just you know, they're taking a chance. You know, they're taking chance, or they retirement money or whatever, however they get their money, they're taking a chance. And you should respect that, you know, when it comes to a promoter, because they don't have to do that. So to always keep that in mind too. If it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be no concerts, you know. So yeah, that was a good point that Melvin and Doug made. Very good point.
Let me ask you this. How do you feel about groups that don't want to enter? They want to come in when it's time for them to sing, and when they go off stage, they leave without interacting with the fans. Now, we know sometimes some groups be travel 10, 12, maybe 14, 15 hours before they got there, and they're tired. They're ready to go back to the hotel and lay down. But never cheat your fans out of a hello.
Now that's one thing Joe Lagan always do. When you come see the Mighty Clouds of Joy, we're gonna be sitting at that record table, all the way back from the Johnny Martin and Rich. They're gonna be sitting at that record table to greet their fans. That's one thing they didn't play that. No, they're not gonna sit at the hotel till it's time to go on stage. They're gonna be there when the program start, almost sitting at that record table. When they get off the stage, they're gonna change their clothes and they're gonna be right back at that record table greeting their fans. They've never been that way. I wasn't even raised that way, you know. And that's one thing I give Doc McKenzie credit for, because he'll go to a show and listen at every group that sings. Never move. He'll sit there the whole concert to hear every group, which I always thought that was professional.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You are absolutely 100% right.
That's professional. Yes,
now, I want to ask you something. I want you to tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Now, when I go to, even though I do not promote shows anymore, I may work on special projects where it includes quartet programs. But when I go to places, you'll never see me tell the MC I'm in the house. I'm going to sit in a corner, and because I like to see how that group member, I like to walk up to the ones, especially the ones that don't know me. Hey, man, I love your CD.
There you go.
Some people say, some people don't say nothing. They just walk away. I had that to happen to me recently. And then when the MC said, we have a legend in the house who promoted some shows, that same group came back to me. I did not know that you were that person. How important is it for you to be good to people when you don't know who they are?
Well, that's true. I like to go to concerts and sit down and enjoy the concert and go home myself. But, you know, I don't go and say, you know, I'm here. No, I don't know. If you know I'm here, it's fine, but not. I just like to be, I'd like to be somebody sitting in the audience just enjoying the program. Like I say, I've never been the kind of showboat, and, you know, I'm Johnny Valentine, I'm with the Clouds, I'm in the building. That doesn't matter to me. You know, as long as I come and enjoy the program and go home, I'm good, you know. I mean, we done been on so many stages and seen so many, singing to 20 and 30,000 people. If don't nobody know me by now, they won't know me. So no, I don't. I like to go to a concert, enjoy myself, and go home. You know, it's good to be acknowledged. I ain't gonna lie, it's good to be acknowledged, but I don't go for that. You know, I might be a group that I like to hear sing. You know, and that's what I go for. You know,
So you have
I'm
never. So you telling me in all the years you've been singing with the Mighty Clouds of Joy, you never walked up and said, "I'm Johnny Valentine with the legendary Mighty Clouds of Joy"?
No. Oh, I'll pay
wow.
to go on the program. I'll buy a ticket. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
I will buy a ticket. I went to the Legend show in Nashville a couple of weeks ago. I bought a ticket. You know, I didn't just go sit in there because I knew Pringle and them. No, I bought a ticket. You know, that's just the way I was raised and brought up, to support other people. You know, because you want people to support you. You know, so no, I've never had that problem. No, ma'am.
Okay, here's a hard question.
Okay.
Please talk to these musicians that sneak in programs, say I'm playing for the Mighty Clouds of Joy when actually they ain't playing for nobody that's there.
Well, actually, they need to buy a ticket. You know, I mean, I like I said, I've always been supportive. So I don't know how that feels to go to a door and say I'm playing with this, I'm not playing with, and I'm not playing with that. I've never done it, so I don't even know how does that feel.
Wow.
You know, like I said, I don't even know how that feels. But I support. I love support because I support. Or if your group ain't saying you were there, you want them to come with you when you sing. Not by ain't a question. You know,
say that again.
It's all about supporting.
You
Can
broke
you hear
up
me?
on us. I can hear you now. Say that again.
Oh, okay. If you're a musician and you're not on the show and you're going to go and say, well, I'm playing with such and such, and you're not playing with them, you know, why would you want to do that when support them? You want somebody to support your group when you sing. So it's vice versa. Support the other group. You know, it's not all about getting the program free or whatever. It's about supporting each other. You know, like they did back in the day. I knew Clay and Clee and all, they come to our show and they'll buy a ticket. Then, you know, even though the promoter might not take their money, but they'll say, well, we're gonna pay. Nah, y'all come on in. That's something different. But when you being slick about it, that's not supporting. No. I've never been that way. Like I say, I support right now. If I go to a program right now, I'm not looking for no ticket. I'm gonna pay when I get to the door and walk in just like everybody else and enjoy the program.
So you're not one of those person who will grab a guitar or a case and pretend like you're a musician coming in the back.
Never did it in my life. Never did it in my life. Never. No. No. Like I say, I believe in buying a ticket. I would buy a ticket before I would try to sneak in somebody's program. I wouldn't want nobody sneak in my program because then my money might be short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know, it's just courtesy. You know, just courtesy. You know, it's courtesy. You know, if I come to COT, go ahead.
How many? Tell us how many albums did the Mighty Clouds recorded?
Over 50 records. Over 50. Over 50. And out of them 50 records, they got 4 Grammys. So God has been good. So God has been good to the Mighty Clouds of Joy. If we never grace a stage again, it's nothing we haven't done, nowhere we haven't been. Singing for presidents and queens overseas. I mean, it's just nothing we haven't done. And like I said, we owe it all to God. You know, we owe it all to God for the journey that we've been on for 60 years. You know, 60 years the Mighty Cloud.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
Can you
hear me?
Went out. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just thank God that we're still here, still around and in existence. you know, for people to know that we are carrying on a legacy that Joe Lagan started. It's just a blessing. It's just a blessing
Is
from
there a
God.
live recording in the future?
We have music now that we have cut. We just haven't put it out yet. You know, we're just trying to make a round, you know, to different areas, let people know that we are back singing again. You know, in probably the first of the year, we will be dropping some singles. You know, hopefully you'll be enjoying it. We're going to do some new stuff. We're going to do some old stuff, you know, because we're always going to sing Mighty Clouds of Joy songs. Always. That's rule number one. We're always going to sing Mighty Clouds of Joy songs. So, yes, we do have new music that we're going to be dropping the first of the year. Yes, ma'am.
As we get ready to conclude, just leave us with whatever you want to lead us with pertaining to the Mighty Clouds of Joy. Make sure to tell us how can you be booked. Make sure to tell us some of the places, some of the cities. You might can't remember the churches, but some of the cities that your group will be coming to in the future.
Okay. The end of the month, the 24th, we'll be coming to Norfolk, Virginia for a church down there. Don't know the name of the church. November 9th, we'll be in Baltimore, Maryland. And that Friday night, we'll be, that Saturday night, we'll possibly be in Atlantic City. In April, we'll be in Philadelphia with Mavis Staples, the Staple Singers, doing a concert with her up in Philadelphia. I can't remember no more further than that, but we do have a good schedule coming up, and we hoping to see all our fans that we still around, you know, that love the Mighty Clouds of Joy, come out and hear us. And like I said, when you come hear us, you're gonna hear the Mighty Clouds of Joy. We ain't changed. We still doing the Mighty Clouds. And that's what people seem to be enjoying. That's what we're going to be doing. Yes,
Elaine Hopkins said, who does the writing and arrangement, or is it done mutually? I guess together.
It's done. If I come to the group with a song, we'll all get together and get on one page and make it work. You know, Ron does a lot of writing and arranging. And like I said, when this new stuff come out, you hear what Ron got for you, and he has some good stuff coming out. Like I said, a lot of stuff is done as a group. Like I said, if you have a song, bring it to the group or whatever. We'll all get together and put our input in and do it together. You know, that's working as a team. That's what we are. We are a team. You know, we are a team. Wow. Yes, ma'am.
Do you ever see any of Mr. Lagan's children?
I'm always in touch with Deborah, and haven't seen the twins in a minute, but they reach out here and there. Always, like, I've been to the family for years. You know, I used to go to California and stay out there, and they treat me like their brother. You know, I can go out there and stay 2-3 months at a time, and they treat me just like their brother. And we've always had that relationship. It's Joe Lagan's whole family, his brothers, his aunties used to cook them grits with the red tomato sauce in them. We used to go to LA just to eat that. I tell you. Yeah, very close family. Very close family. That's who got me started eating oxtails, Joe Lagan. I ain't know nothing about no oxtails when I came out here. I love them now, though. If they cook right, I love them now. So, yeah.
Where are you from then? If you didn't never hear oxtails, where are you from?
I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey.
Oh,
yeah, I come from the city. Yes, ma'am. I come from the city.
Okay.
I come up around. Do what now?
Do you know cheese? He said he's cheeseburger. Cheeseburger. That's what they call him. He's
yeah. You know, he played keyboard for us for years and years and years.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, his brother's traveling with me today. Eddie, his brother, Cheeseburger's brother's traveling with me today, coming from Texas. Let me drive. Yes, ma'am.
Well, we certainly do. We thank you for coming on with us. Anytime you need to come back on, Mighty Clouds have some news, whatever, just hit me up in my inbox and we'll make it happen.
I sure will. And I want to thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure and a blessing for you having me here. I've enjoyed it. and we will be in contact. Hopefully, we'll be coming in your area soon. Maybe you'll call us when you're having something. You might, might need us or something. We'll be there for you, Miss
It
Loretta.
might be sooner than you think.
All
Like I
right.
say, I don't promote anymore. I just do the special projects. So it
Right.
just might be sooner than you think.
Well, we're gonna sure be looking for that, and we will be in touch. As we always say hi to each other. Since I've seen you, it's been 20 years now. We'll say hi to each other
Yeah.
every now and then now. But anyway, I
Okay.
love you, and I
Okay.
want the people to know I love them. Be blessed, and all these other groups,
Mm-hmm.
find a church home. Make sure you have a church home. Because when
Mm-hmm.
you ain't singing out on this road, we need to be in church.
Mm-hmm. I
Yes,
got
ma'am.
you. Well, thank you again, and we'll talk to you real soon.
All right, you be blessed.
All right, you too.
All right now.
That was so good. I enjoyed him. Tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, we have multi-stellar award-winning Keith the Wonder Boy Johnson. He will be our special guest on tomorrow. Excuse me. He'll be our special guest on tomorrow evening. We'll be sitting down. Get your questions ready for Keith Wonder Boy Johnson. Everybody know him. I just want to be right. I'm going to hide behind the mountains. You ought to let go and let God. And so many more wonderful songs that he has done. And we're going to bring him on. And Keith Wonder Boy, even during the pandemic, Keith Wonder Boy was somewhere. Once those churches opened back up, he was always somewhere singing. He has a great relationship with churches as a whole and pastors. And so we're going to talk to him, and we're going to let him tell about his journey, how he got started, and what's next for Keith Wonder Boy Johnson. So that's going to be tomorrow at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As we close out on today, I say again, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, please exercise your right to vote on November the 8th. You can register to vote up until October the 9th. Don't let nobody tell you that your vote don't count, because it does. Don't sit home and say my vote don't matter. You got people now that don't have food to eat. You got people being evicted every day. You got people that can't get their medicine. So many things are going on. Presidents can't do it by themselves. Congressmen, senators, they can't do it by themselves. They need all of us. So I want you to text, like we get on our phones and we text people about gossip. Let's text and encourage people to vote. Let's encourage people to vote. Listen, minorities and poor people, we need to vote just like we did when Obama was running. We need to come out in full force. If we don't, I'm telling you now, we're going to be in trouble. Now I hear somebody saying, well, God take care of me. Yes, he takes care of all of us. But some things we can do. Some things we can do on our own. And we need you. And I'm going to echo this every time I come on this. The power to vote. And I am representing the majority will of the White House, Congressman Clyburn, on tonight. Come on, people. Don't go by what you hear. Put their name in Google and see what they have done. See the progress that they have made. This is very serious. It's very serious. It's very serious. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me voice this. We must vote on November the 8th. Until tomorrow night with Keith Wonder Boy Johnson, you be blessed. And thank you so very much for joining us on tonight. You didn't have to support this broadcast, but you did. I don't take it for granted. I say thank you so very much for your support. We appreciate you so much, and you have a great night. Thank you so much.